I start by making the icing. I pour 60 ml of cold water into a heavy base saucepan. Then I add 75 grams of coconut butter, which is different from coconut oil, though you could use margarine. "50 grams of soft brown sugar gives a subtle suggestion of caramel that I adore. To get the slightly bitter edge I want, I add 1½ tablespoons of cocoa, plus a teaspoon and a half of instant espresso powder. I bring all the ingredients to the boil and then turn off the heat before quickly adding some finely chopped chocolate. It must be good and dark. Nothing less than 70% cocoa solids will do. I give the pan a swirl to help the chocolate melt gently into the hot liquid. And then I whisk it all together until it's thick and smooth. Then leave it to cool while I get on with the gorgeous cake. That's 225 grams of plain flour, 1½ teaspoons of bicarb, ½ a teaspoon of free-flowing salt, and just as in the icing, a teaspoon and a half of instant espresso powder. And a lot of cocoa, 75 grams. This is a very chocolatey chocolate cake. It's a two-stage affair, and the first stage is done. For the second stage, a lot of water, 375 ml. Now, this is a liquid batter, and that's what makes the texture so fabulous. I've got 75 grams of coconut oil. It would be 90 ml if it were liquid. And the thing about coconut oil is it's solid until the temperature is 24 centigrade, and then it liquefies. Just give this a little coax to help it melt. You can use any vegetable oil, but I find coconut oil really gives a wonderful crumb. And just as there was dark sugar in the icing, there is soft dark sugar here. 300 grams of it. I want 1.5 teaspoons of vinegar. The vinegar acts with the bicarb to make the cake rise and have a lightness, and this is very important since, of course, there are no eggs. And now it's just a matter of pouring the one into t'other. Quite apart from being seduced by the splendid squidginess of this cake, it's so easy. You can see why I wheel it out for every family birthday now. This cake needs about 35 minutes in a 180-degree oven, and then you just let it cool in its tin. Once it's cold, the icing will be at perfect consistency. I pour that on and then celebrate the cake's sumptuousness by sprinkling it with rose petals and pistachios. And now, a casual stroll to the oven. finish the cake, I gently ease the icing to the edges. If you want to adorn it, now is the time. Strew joyously with chopped pistachios and dried rose petals, or whatever your heart desires. It needs to be left for 30 minutes to set, but that's a big ask.